Are we rolling? We're rolling. Are the cameras rolling? Are we here? Ryan, are you here? You got your purple shirt on? You're ready to take a journey back to a different time.
Where are we going?
You know, this is how the show works. We find a magazine. We don't know what it could be. WCW, WWF, Pro Wrestling Illustrated. Those are the three that it's been.
ECW magazine?
That hasn't happened yet.
Oh.
But let's see what we've got today. We are going back to November of 1996. That's where we find the WWF magazine with Paul Bearer on the front getting ready to hit The Undertaker in the head with an urn, and it says, "Rest in pieces." Paul Bearer has turned his back on the dead man at this point.
November of 96.
The Boiler Room Brawl had
Where was I?
had just taken... Where were you?
Where was I in November of 96?
Mentally or geographically?
Wow, mentally. Mm-hmm. I know 96 was a time and a half.
What was going on for you?
I just, you wake me up, or you turn the bright lights on, and you bring out, and you turn everything on, and say, hey, here we go, do it. And then you got this, I don't even know, and then you bring this, and then it's 96 again. Then I jump back to 96, and I'm confused. Work with me here.
It's too much for your brain to handle.
Let's do it. All right, 96. Rest in peace. Rest in peace.
Undertaker has lost Paul Bearer now. Paul Bearer has started to manage mankind at this point.
No.
Well, he's seeing it right here. I don't have to.
But he's begging him, please, Mr. Bear, please.
Well, it looks like he's about to hit him in the head with that urn.
Why would he do that?
What do you remember about this time of 96, fall of 96 in WWF? The Buried Alive match is going on, and...
Wasn't this around the time that Steve Austin was feuding with Bret Hart?
Yes, I'm sure we'll... That
was a thing for me.
I'm sure we'll
I was getting pretty excited.
I'm sure we'll hear something here. Can you guess the secret superstar?
I am... This month's secret superstar's favorite cousin is Vinny. My cousin... Oh, I think that's Chris Candido.
The answer is Salvatore Sincere.
I really thought I had that. I was like super confident that was Chris Candido.
Ryan has a long-time love of Hillbilly Jim. There he is popping up again.
Salvatore Sincere. We had a good time one night with Salvatore Sincere. You remember that?
We went to a very small independent wrestling show, and Salvatore Sincere was in the main event.
That's right.
And he hit somebody in the head with a cookie sheet and went to throw it to me, and the person in front of me grabbed it out of my hands.
I feel like that's petty of you to remember that.
Well, that's the name of the game. Rookies to Legends, Heroes of Yesterday, Today, and Tomorrow, Crush. Now, I know you don't like Kona Crush, where he's from Hawaii and he's squashing heads. Do you like when he's the jailbird Crush?
Let's go ahead right now and put him on the list with
your least favorites
of X-Pac and
BJ Penn. Isn't it odd that BJ Penn and Crush are both from Hawaii?
It's not odd at all. Travis Brown, that reminds me of. We'll put him on there.
Now here we have Vader. Around this time, Vader is feuding with Shawn Michaels.
This is an awesome picture. I like this a lot. Over Jim Cornette like that, that is wild looking.
When I think about this Vader feud with Shawn Michaels, it kind of seems a little lackluster to me. And I'm not sure why. Because on paper, Vader's at his best when he's throwing guys around. And not too many people get thrown around better than Shawn Michaels.
I think Shawn Michaels was being a dick around this time, honestly. I don't think it's Vader's fault. I think it's Shawn Michaels' fault. I don't think Shawn Michaels was giving him everything. Yeah, I don't think Shawn Michaels was giving him everything.
I wonder why it worked a couple years previous. Vader and Sting had a great series of matches.
Sting is a giver, I think, all the time. I think Shawn Michaels is some of the time. I think sometimes Shawn Michaels is a taker.
Very interesting. What are you, a giver or a receiver?
I'm a giver. I'm an absolute giver.
Oh boy, here's an advertisement for the PlayStation Crash Bandicoot. Don't you have a story of walking into my room unannounced and seeing me playing Crash Bandicoot? You thought that was so funny.
I was expected. I don't want to call it unannounced. he was expecting me. He should have known better. It was,
You love that story, though.
to be honest, it was, for me, it was kind of sad just walking in there and
to see
seeing my friend
playing Crash Bandicoot. What's wrong with that? It's a fun game.
No, he wasn't playing the game though. He wasn't playing the game. He was sitting on his bed with the game paused on the screen, and he was reading the instruction manual.
And that is so hilarious to you.
For me,
For what reason?
kind of sad. Just play the
I'm
game.
trying
It's
to-
Crash Bandicoot. How hard is it? What are you going through the instruction manual to do?
I'm trying to learn some tips and tricks.
For what? Jumping over, not getting hit by the boulder, jumping on a cliff? I mean, like, there's like 4 things you can do in that game.
You may not see him, but he sees you. The Barry Windham has become the stalker.
I feel like every one of these shows that we do, there's always got to be these magazines.
Too much Barry Windham.
The problem is these magazines. When you have guys coming into your company, they use these magazines as a thing to like get you to like them or get you to want to buy their merchandise, whatever it is. And Barry Windham is always bouncing all over the place with a new angle or a new tag team partner.
And it's tough for people to get excited, maybe.
And no one's ever excited about it except for Ric Flair, and that's the whole reason he ever gets a job anywhere, I think. Or maybe Jim Cornette, probably Jim Cornette or something. But you have to understand, sometimes a guy is your buddy, but nobody wants to see him on television.
Believe me, I feel that way myself. You know what's funny, though? You see Barry Windham. Barry Windham is well established as a NWA. This is Barry Windham with camouflage paint on. Don't you think there was somebody that said, that's not the stalker, it's Barry Windham?
It's like Terry Funk with the stocking on his face. I mean, why can't calling him Chainsaw Charlie? It's Terry Funk. Why don't you just let him be Terry Funk?
I don't know. I don't understand it.
But then again, if you let Barry Windham be Barry Windham, there's going to be a lot of empty seats.
Okay, we've got the In Your House. You're very brutal on Barry Windham on these shows. We might have to... Can we get the word out to him? I'd like to see the two of you have like a debate.
Hey, let's talk about it. Let's figure it out. He can tell me what he's done.
This is the In Your House, October 20th. It is the Buried Alive match, which I have fond memories of. That was fun. Undertaker, Mankind, the Buried Alive match.
Was it a fun match, a fun show, or did we watch it together? Did we have fun?
I don't know.
We watched a lot of those shows together.
I just remember trying to bury someone in a grave in a wrestling match. It was fun to me.
So you like that? See, I don't like that. I thought it was a boring match. I thought any match, I feel like, where you have to leave the ring to go to a different point in the arena, not if you do that. Sometimes that's entertaining if you do that, but if you have to, I find that to be a very lame kind of match. I thought it was a lame kind of match.
I like matches, and I like wrestling when things get kind of crazy. And the idea of having to bury your opponent alive is kind of fun to me.
Heard.
Ahmed Johnson, Beneath the Skin. Ahmed Johnson, let's see here.
What is beneath the skin? Wasn't he always like a scumbag? I never was a fan of this. They just kept him around. I never really. I give him this. He was an intense presence, but I mean, he couldn't really work with anybody.
I did like the Pro River Plunge as a finish.
Good finish. He pulled it off well too. Like I said, he had a big movement.
I think some people call that the Tiger Driver or Tiger Bomb.
Well, Jushin Liger did that.
He might have done it first, but where you have someone like you're going to do a pedigree and then you throw him up into a power bomb.
I thought that was why it was called. I guess he wasn't called Tigers. I don't know why I thought.
I think it would be Tiger Mask. Maybe was the first one to do it in Japan.
Oh, maybe. A cool move. I agree.
There's a Raw.
What does this prove?
On the WWE Network from November of 1995. Ryan and I are small kids. And if you get that at just the right spot, you'll see Ryan cheering on Diesel with his black glove on.
Oh, I remember that.
And you'll see me running to the barricade after Ahmed Johnson has just hit the Pro River Plunge.
Check it out.
Yeah, check it, please. Owen Hart is the Slammy Award-winning Owen Hart at this point, right?
That is... Wait, no. 94, Owen Hart was like one of my favorites. I still liked Owen Hart in like 96, but...
Feuding with Bret Hart.
Yeah, I loved Owen Hart at one point.
You just liked it because he kicked Bret Hart's leg out of his leg.
He did, man. He did. He took that spot. We tried, anyway.
This is remembering the Battle Royal from WrestleMania 4. Another Hillbilly Jim appearance.
That's a cool Battle Royal. I always like that one a lot. I like the finish in that Battle
Royal. I know you
Royal.
love the Junkyard Dog.
Yeah, I do.
He's the dog.
He is the dog, indeed.
Oh man, I have a lot of memories.
You like this game.
Playing. I'm not gonna. Well,
We had fun
I
playing
played it
this
a
game.
lot.
Yeah.
But let's see.
It's outrageous.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, this is the one that has Ultimate Warrior in it. But by the time it came out, Ultimate Warrior was gone, so they didn't promote him.
Right.
But he's in the game.
I feel like I would still promote him. Why wouldn't you not still promote him?
Because I guess he's not there anymore. I don't know. I guess you want to highlight Triple H, he'll certainly be there. And Vader and Goldust.
I wouldn't mind playing this game. Do you have this game?
I have it floating around.
Is this possible that me and you could ever play this?
Absolutely. Can we do a live stream for the viewers?
I was just going to say, I feel like that's a show right there.
This was during the time when all these games were influenced by Mortal Kombat, and it was it was more of a fighting game.
Yeah.
I think this is the
outrageous
game.
finishers and stuff.
It's got the little WWF logos in the ring. And if they're white and you back into them, you get a health boost. And if they're red and you back into them, your power goes down. And I remember thinking, this isn't a wrestling game. This is like a fighting game.
Yeah. But a fun twist because, I mean, before this is what, PlayStation?
And Sega Saturn.
Okay.
And CD-ROM.
But before this, like on Super Nintendo.
Did you have a Sega Saturn?
I don't think so. I had a PlayStation, though.
And a Super Nintendo.
And a Super Nintendo. And before
and a Genesis.
this, like on Super Nintendo, I had a Sega Genesis for a little bit, but I didn't have it very long. I didn't like it.
What happened to it?
I probably gave it to a friend or sold it or something.
Are you a fan of Steve Austin with the little sunglasses?
That always tickles you when Steve Austin has sunglasses on, because it's like you don't ever remember like an actual time, but you'll see a photograph every once in a while where Steve Austin has sunglasses.
I don't know.
on.
I don't think it suits his persona.
I have no problem with
Texas
Steve Austin
rattlesnake, and he's got
the sun's in his eyes, and he ain't having
But they're
it.
little circular sunglasses like a scientist would wear or something.
Like Thomas Dolby.
Yeah, a little bit like Dolby. What's he sitting on up there?
I can't see it. In the back of a pickup or
That's
something?
what it looks like. What's he doing there?
He's at the barn. No shirt on. Taking care of the horses.
They're selling denim shirts with Bret Hart and Undertaker and Shawn Michaels.
How much do they cost? What are they charging for a denim long sleeve? $30?
$79 plus shipping and handling.
Are you out of your... All right, I'm not in.
They're trying to turn that profit.
I'm not in. I wasn't in for 30. I was gonna say that was ridiculous. I thought they were like $22. What is this? It's 96. $80 at 96. How much money is that now?
I don't think business was that great during these times, and I think they were trying to get some cash flow.
When they make a sale, they're gonna make a sale.
Yeah, here we go. SummerSlam '96. I haven't seen this show in a long time. I don't have very vivid memories of it.
If I would have brought that deal to my mom with those denim shirts, I was like, Mom, it's only $80. I feel like she would have beat me for disrespecting her for even asking her.
Which one would you have wanted out of that?
None for 80, but if I had to pick one for free, I like that one.
Yeah, a shirtless, bare-chested Shawn Michaels.
I have no problem with that because I was always. No, that's not for this. That's not for this show. It's for a different show.
You were always you appreciate a good physique.
I was always on the fence about who I was.
Mm-hmm. Well, there's still time. Smoking Guns versus the Godwins versus the Body Donnas versus the New Rockers. You like the New Rockers?
Who are the New Rockers? Is that Al Snow?
That was
and Marty Jannetty?
Yeah, Leif Cassidy and Marty Jannetty. And this is when Sunny was kind of she wanted to be the manager of wherever the champions were.
Man, are you kidding me? Is Sunny down there?
There she is.
Oh.
Little skirt.
I pine for Sunny.
Well, you saw her porn video.
Not that Sunny. That was partly cloudy.
Psycho Sid versus the British Bulldog.
I always hated that Psycho with an S.
Well, you got to figure Sid's getting ready to main event Survivor Series against
Right.
Shawn Michaels.
Man, Bulldog's another one. Bulldog's not one of my least favorites, man. Bulldog was involved in a lot of bad stuff. I had to watch him and be bored through his matches a lot.
How long do you think the British Bulldog would have stuck around if he wasn't from Europe? Like, I think the fact that he was European and a lot of people wanted a European figure when they went into that market. I think that kept him around longer than maybe other people would have.
It's a great point, and I think it's 100% true. It's got to be. He just really didn't bring that, but that and a good physique to the table.
Right. Yeah.
That's pretty much it. And speaking of, you got the Wild Man.
Yeah, Mark Merrow and Gold Dust. I don't remember the show very much. I might have to go back and give this a look sometime.
Don't do it without me. I want to see it.
Jake Roberts against Jerry Lawler. I think this was around the time when Jerry Lawler was making fun of Jake Roberts' alcoholism, and he was pouring
Oh, I love that.
pouring liquor in his mouth.
I love that because
If
I'd
Jake
rather
Roberts,
make fun of it than like hide it.
if Jake Roberts, I'm sure Jake Roberts was okay with it, right?
I would think so.
Yeah. Boiler Room Brawl, Undertaker and Mankind. I remember that. See, I was a big fan of Mankind in 1996 because he was always involved in some wild stuff. Boiler Room Brawl and
Bad match with Shawn Michaels.
the match with Shawn Michaels and the
One of my favorites.
Buried Alive match.
Mind games. I thought you said this is the Buried Alive.
That's coming up here shortly. That wasn't at SummerSlam. That was at the In Your House.
Oh, this is a SummerSlam.
Yeah.
No, I missed that. I don't know what happened.
Are you with me here?
All right, I blacked out one time. It's not that big of a deal. It was more of a brownout.
The main event was Shawn Michaels against Vader.
Oh, 96 SummerSlam. Okay,
Yeah.
now I'm back. Now I remember that because
I mentioned this to you a couple years ago, and you had a very puzzled expression, and I'll mention it to you now.
Let's see.
I always thought that part of Shawn Michaels' persona, the HBK, Heartbreak Kid, boy toy, I always thought part of that was that he was a stripper.
Okay.
Like, he would come into the ring, and his music would be playing, I think I'm cute, I know I'm sexy, and he's removing his clothes in a very suggestive way. I always thought that Heartbreak Kid persona he was a stripper. Like, Shawn Michaels was a stripper.
Taking the earrings off and stuff like that.
I mentioned that to you a couple years ago, and you acted like you'd never thought about that before. I'd be curious as to hear what other people say, because I always thought he was like a male stripper.
Even like when he turned on the Rockers, he was doing that. But then around this time, when he was the Boyhood Dream, he was still doing it.
Still doing it. But I feel like he kind of stopped doing it a little bit when D-Generation X came along.
Because he was already didn't have any clothes on. He was wearing like the real small Speedo pants and stuff.
Shawn Michaels never wore the Speedo pants.
Yeah, they were they were tight. They were like real tight on his jump.
He wore long.
No, I'm talking about his matches. I'm talking about he come out and do like promos. He didn't have many matches in DX anyway. I mean, he would come out and do like promos and stuff. He'd be wearing them little bicycle shorts
Occasionally, not all the time.
or real tight jeans.
So you never saw Shawn Michaels as like a male stripper.
I get your point, but no, I never saw it. But I get your point.
Even stranger is if we fast forward to the mid to late 2000s, and he's the clean living family man, Shawn Michaels, and he's still dancing to "I think I'm not your boy toy, I'm just a sexy boy." That really doesn't make any sense.
How old was he when he was doing that? Like 50?
We're very close to him and Sid at Survivor Series, and the crowd really turns on Shawn Michaels that night and cheers Sid.
Yeah.
So I'm saying that's kind of silly to have like a male stripper character as like your hero. I think that was Bret Hart's point too when they would talk about it.
Yeah.
That's not a hero. That's not how a hero's supposed to act. Remember him saying that?
I know Bret Hart didn't like that.
Yeah.
I know he didn't like that, eh?
It was like when I mentioned to you back in 89, 90, Hulk Hogan had that tank top that said Hulk rules.
Yeah.
And I always took that as Hulk Hogan's doing things his own way. He's doing things in Hulk rules. And you said it was Hulk rules, like Hulk is saying he's the best. I don't think Hulk Hogan at that time would that's a little presumptuous for him to say Hulk rule.
You're saying Hulk rules. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard you say.
He's operating under Hulk rules. Hulk rules.
I feel like I've lost respect for you. Like, not all of it, but like a little bit. Like, it was here, and now I feel like it's like down a little. It's just down a hair.
Don't you think it's a little silly for this heroic all-American hero to be saying how great he is, to say Hulk rules?
Hulk does rule, baby. Hulk rules.
He did do the poses after the match, and that's kind of a...
There you go.
I don't know.
What you're saying doesn't make any sense. Because if it did make sense, he would have to have like 10 rules on his back of the shirt.
No, you're making it sound like there's a list of Hulk's rules. I'm saying that Hulk is operating under Hulk rules. I'm not saying that they're rules you have to follow. But his life is under Hulk
That
rules.
sounds like something like when you lock down the country because of a terrorist threat. Like
Hulk
we're under.
Hulk rules. You're thinking of martial law.
Yeah. That's what it sounds like to me that you're saying.
Okay. So you don't. We'll have to agree to disagree.
Oh,
on
the
that.
big boss man's in town. We're under Hulk rules.
Do you remember the AOL Instant Messenger site with the WWF? You ever get kicked off? I think you got kicked off of the WWF AOL site because you were saying cuss words.
Yeah, well, I was talking dirty. I thought that was a dirty website. I thought that's what you just did online. I just thought you got on there and talked dirty to people.
What kind of stuff were you saying in the chat room?
I would say, I'm over here. I'm watching whatever in your house and touching myself. You know what I mean? Just like stuff like that. You know what I mean?
That Undertaker Mankind feud was white hot.
I like Sunny.
Goldust and Marlena are here, and they're taking pictures.
I didn't mind Marlena either.
Yeah. I wonder whose house this is.
She never looked like Sunny though. You know what it was? Sunny looked like just a like she didn't have to do anything to be a beautiful woman. Marlena looked like a cartoon. Like she kind of like
What
had
about
to
Sable?
It looked like you had to do 2 hours of treatment to make Marlena look like Marlena. Sunny looked like she just hopped out of bed and was Sunny.
What about Sable?
Sable, same thing. Like in the Marlena boat. Well, it was like she never looked like a natural beauty to me. It was like she'd have procedures and makeup and her hair did. And Sunny was just
The All-American.
I'm here,
the
I'm Sunny, and I'm the hottest thing going today.
Maybe she could have a little halter top that says Sunny Rules. Like she's operating under Sunny rules.
I don't know who would not follow.
I'm just saying, if Hulk Hogan is this great all-American hero and he's saying he rules, I think that's a little presumptuous.
You on this still? I was just thinking about Roddy Piper. You just completely blew through Roddy Piper in '96, and we aren't even going to talk about it.
Well, that was not one of my favorite Roddy Pipers, the Backlot Brawl Roddy Piper.
So because it's not one of your favorite Roddy Pipers, we don't even talk about it. I was going to have a real suggestive point to make.
I'm a big Roddy Piper fan, but I think that by that point he was not at the top of his. That's not the. I think Roddy Piper's at his best when he's an evil villain and he's Hot Rod. This is not Hot Rod.
But don't you think that Roddy Piper and Dusty Rhodes were probably...
How did Dusty Rhodes get involved in this?
Now hear me out. Don't you think that Roddy Piper and Dusty Rhodes were probably like colleagues? They would talk on
Say
the
that
phone.
word again?
Colleagues. Colleagues.
Uh-huh.
They worked together. They were probably had some camaraderie. Do you think Dusty put a phone call in and say, hey, will you work with my boy?
I don't remember Dusty Rhodes and Roddy Piper ever having much of a program together.
I wonder why Roddy Piper would come back in '96 and do a program with Goldust.
Goldust was red hot in 1996. He was getting a lot of attention. Well, red hot for 96 WWF.
And Roddy had to come back and do Goldust? Whose idea was it is what I'm asking. I'm asking, did Dusty ask a favor of an old comrade to help his son out?
Maybe Roddy felt like this Goldust was one of the hottest characters they had and wanted in on it.
Maybe. I was just posing the question.
Yeah.
Just posing the question.
I don't know. But I don't remember Roddy Piper and Dusty Rhodes having any interaction.
But it seems like they would be. It seems like they would.
But I never remember them in the same ring or at the same time of anything.
I don't either, but it just seems like it would happen.
It's weird, isn't it?
But what about Ric Flair? They're both very obviously very good friends with Ric Flair. So they had to have
I don't
gotten
know
together.
if Dusty Rhodes is good friends with Ric Flair.
You don't think so?
They were always feuding together, if I remember correctly.
Well, I think that goes
Still
hand
real
in
to
hand,
me.
working together. Okay. I was going to say they were both dead, but...
Okay, now I'm going to ask you a question, and you're going to have to answer as the goon.
All right.
Hey, goon, why do you always drop your hockey gloves before you wrestle? Are you trying to intimidate your opponents?
That's what I did out on the rink, and that's what won me every fight. I was undefeated on the rink, and I'm going to be undefeated in the WWF ring, eh?
You're just doing a Stu Hart impression, basically.
It's Canadian.
Dear Sonny, do you have a certain breakfast of champions or diet that you use to stay in shape for your World Wrestling Federation career?
Oh, I love to have, I just have McDonald's every morning. It doesn't affect me at all.
Are you talking about, you're doing Sonny now?
I like,
I wanted this Sonny from '96. Dear Henry,
I'm telling you, if I could have mustered up a fart, I would have.
Dear Henry Godwin, what other animals do you and Phineas have on the farm besides pigs? Oh,
That's
boy.
what I'm talking about.
Got a phone.
Unprofessional.
Hold on a second. I gotta go answer this.
So you do that. I'm gonna get a drink of water. I've been waiting for this day.
Hello? Yes.
This jerk will probably edit it
Yeah,
out.
I'll take care of that. 1 second.
He leaves it. I know he leaves it on my BS where I
Okay.
screw up.
Yeah, hold on. I'll be take care of it in 1 second.
Can't mute the damn phone. Yeah, he's gonna take care of it. I'm trying. They woke me up. I want to film. I want to film a reading old wrestling magazines. I want to do my impressions that I've practiced.
Dear Ahmed Johnson, at the 1996 Slammy Awards, you won the new sensation of the squared circle. Congratulations, but I was wondering if you were still upset that you didn't get to win the Stick a Fork in Him He's Done award. The Pearl River Plunge should have easily beat everyone else.
Man, that's a poser's question. Everybody knows that the Pearl River Plunge is the greatest move and the most dynamic move in the World Wrestling Federation.
So you're agreeing with what he's saying. You're saying that it is the greatest move. He's saying it is. He's saying it also is the greatest move.
You fucking right. Oh, I got the character. Sorry, I got the. Whew, I forgot where I was for a second. I really got into it. You really upset me with that line of questioning.
Boy, that's a great poster for the In Your House Buried Alive. Paul Bear is in the moon. See him up there?
Paul Bear's getting a lot of he always seemed like to me Paul Bear was behind the scenes, kind of behind the Undertaker. He's getting a lot more limelight right now.
He was the source of the strength for the dead man.
I know, but it was like he was there, but he wasn't there. Because Undertaker could even talk. He would talk for Undertaker, but Undertaker would talk too.
But Paul Bear kept the urn.
But that was it. I mean, like, it wasn't really a lot to it. Now he's all of a sudden a big focal point in the storyline.
The Rockers are visiting the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. How'd you like to visit the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in Cleveland, Ohio?
Do you think Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in Cleveland, Ohio? I guess I could do that. I was thinking about something else when you asked me that, so it kind of threw me off. That's not where I expect. Good line of questioning. I'd like to go sometime. It sounds good. Are you asking me? Are you inviting me?
I've been to Ohio, but I've never been to Cleveland.
I've never been to Ohio.
Well, there you have it. The World Tour de Force, 1996. I know you love the Tour de Force.
Weren't we there?
Well, this contains all the matches from the In Your House of July of 96. So that's the name of the show, but the Tour de Force was a tour.
Who's better looking or was ever better looking at any time than Sonny?
Sonny in 96, 97 is tough to beat. I don't know, though. As far as a body of work goes, I might put Sable over ahead of Sonny.
Man,
just
what
as far
in the world?
if we're talking about from the longest kind of tenure.
Who gets out of bed looking better?
Now? Ryan,
Maybe,
1996.
because I don't know what's happened in Minnesota or Canada or wherever the hell Brock and her live.
November of 96. Do you like what's going on here?
Let's see. I'm trying to think of anything I like that's going on.
You know that November 96 is the Survivor Series with Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels, or Bret Hart and Steve Austin,
I
Shawn
do like
Michaels
Steve
and
Austin's
Sid.
up and coming. Yeah.
So you like that,
I like Sid,
but you don't like the Buried Alive match.
I like that Sid too.
And you don't like the Buried Alive match.
And I like Shawn Michaels, even though it's not going well. I like Shawn Michaels.
You've made that clear that you
I
don't.
don't hate the Buried Alive match. It's just not a favorite. It's not a favorite match.
You like
of
your
mine.
wrestling real. And
I don't like my wrestling real, but I like it. I don't find that to be the most entertaining match. I see your point to it, but it doesn't work for me for some reason.
You like your wrestlers to be presented as athletes, like Bret Hart does, and there's nothing wrong with that. You've said it.
I've been told.
Yeah.
So I've been told.
I don't think we ever got our Phineas Godwin question, so I want to go back and.
Wait, I thought it was Henry Godwin.
Henry.
I was all prepared to be Henry Godwin.
I want to make sure we get this. Dear Henry Godwin, what other animals do you and Phineas have on the farm besides pigs?
Well, let me tell you and the folks out there in TV land something, partner. We've got our. You broke me. You can't do that, David.
I like the partner. That was a nice little. Flair.
I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to show a little showmanship and just leave it right there.
So, thumbs up for this time. I mean, the stage is being set for an incredible 1997. We know that.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know that I can see it. I don't know that I can see it yet in 96, though. I mean, I think there's still some work to be done.
There definitely is, but it's around the corner.
But, that's a fun time. I mean, I was really watching a lot of wrestling around that time. I don't know how much I was really loving it, but I was watching it. I was definitely still in, and they kept me in long enough to get me to the Attitude Era, which was obviously a great time in wrestling. Oh, and WCW was huge around this point. WCW was very good in '96.
Now might not be the time to bring this up, but let me get that $20 you owe me.
I'm in my freaking PJs.